Hello and welcome to the videos of Business Tech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly configure the Google Merchant Center module in order to send a quality feed to Google in a short time. Of course, this video is also valid for the Pro version of Google Merchant Center module, except for the additional options, which will be explained in a dedicated video. So, I will be very brief about the different options. If you want more details about each option, please click on the FAQ links next to the fields. You will access to more detailed documentation. Let's start with basic settings. Your shop's URL should be already filled in, so you don't have to do anything for this field. For the product ID prefix, put your shop's name initials. For example, if your shop's name is Mary's Shop, you can write MS. Don't touch neither to the number of products per cycle, nor to the three following fields. Let the default parameters. About Add ID currency in product link. If you use only one currency, select No. If you use multi-currencies and that you want to display Google Shopping campaigns in these countries that have different currencies, you have to select Yes. And then follow the FAQ, which the link is here next to the field, in order to override the tools.php class. This operation is required so that Google can correctly read the prices in the right currency. Then you can leave the default value of the condition of your products. Advanced product name. According to the strategy you want to adopt facing your competition in Google Shopping, you can either just put the name of the product or the product name with the current category name, or the product name with the brand name. Google recommends you include characteristics in addition to the name of the product, but it's not an obligation. So you can choose, for example, product name plus brand name. Please note that the title does not exceed 150 characters. So, if it's the case, change the option in the drop-down menu. About the option, remove excessive uppercase letters from product titles. If you have titles with an uppercase letters number too important, Google may not accept your feed, so we give you the ability to either uppercase the first letter of each word or only uppercase the first letter of the title. So you can choose uppercase the first character of each word. About the advanced file security, you should always select Yes, because that allows you to protect your data with a specific secure key. And then save the form. You get a message to tell you that the settings are updated. Be careful to configure all the tabs in the right order and to save each form. Let's move to the feed management. And first, the export method. So first you have to choose the export method, either by categories or by brands. If you choose, for example, by categories, you just have to select all the categories of the products you want to display on Google Shopping. And then don't forget to save. The settings are updated. And then you will be able to refine the selection by selecting the products of these categories you don't want to export. Start to write the beginning of the product name and select it. So, robe imprimée. This is a list of the products that you have decided not to export. You can also decide not to export the products with a price lower than a given price, tax excluded. You have the possibility to export or not the out-of-stock products. So usually you will choose no. You can choose to not export the products without EAN 13 or UPC, and to not export products without a manufacturer reference. Then save the form. About feed data options now. If you have products with combinations, you can either choose to export only one product, that is to say that all the combinations represent a single product, or choose to export as many products as combinations. So a combination is a product. About product description, you define the product description you want to display on Google Shopping. Short description, long, both, or meta description. So you can choose short description. If you decided not to export the out-of-stock products, you don't have to do anything in this field. If not, you can choose if you want always indicate products as available, even when product quantity is 0, or only indicate product as available if it is in stock. If you have the EAN 13 and the UPC code, you can choose to give the priority to one of the two. For example, if you have more EAN 13 codes than UPC codes, you will select Check EAN 13 or JAN code first. About tag adult. If you sell products that require an adult tag, you have to select Yes, then to save, and click here to configure the tag for each category. You get a table where you can indicate which categories of products need to be tagged. For example, if I need to make a tag in the category robe, I click here and then select True, and so on. Then click on Modify. Include available product sizes. Here you have to select the attributes or features or both that define the size of your products. Let's take an example. Let us assume that I'm an apparel and shoes seller. For apparel, the size is defined by the attribute size. Here it's a French shop, so it's taille French. I mean S, M, L, etc. However, for shoes, the size is defined by the shoe size, pointure in French. So, as I have to define the size for the whole of my products, I have to select the attributes taille and control pointure. That is to say size and size shoes. The same applies to product colors. I have to select the attributes or features or both that define the product color. In the example of my apparel and shoes sale, I have to select the color attribute, couleur here in French. But if I have another attribute or feature that indicates the color, I also have to select it. Then save. About apparel feed options. I will return on this tab at the end of this video because it's a part only dedicated to apparel merchants. So, if you are an apparel merchant, you will have the explanation a little later. Tax and shipping now. You have the ability to display the prices with the tax included. If you want to show the prices without tax, you can untick the feeds that are concerned. You can also indicate the default carrier for each country by using the drop-down menu. Finally, you can list the products that enjoy free shipping. You only need to start to write the beginning of the name of the product and then to select it. The list appears below. And then you save. So, about Google Management now. Let's go to Google Categories. Each merchant has his own category names that are not the names chosen by another merchant. So to solve this problem, each merchant must have to match his own categories with the official categories created by Google. As each Google Shopping country has its own categories taxonomy, you must match your categories for each country you wish to submit your feed separately. Please click firstly on Synchronize from Google in order to import the names of the country Google official categories. And then click on the pencil icon of each country. For example, for the United States, you get a table in which you have to match your own categories with those of Google. Start to write a keyword and then select the category that matches the best. For example, dress, this, and I select apparel and accessories, clothing, dresses, and so on. And click on Modify. Your matching Google categories have been updated. Now Google Analytics integration. This section allows you to add some parameters in your product links so that you can better track clicks and sales from your Google AdWords product listing ad campaigns in your Google Analytics account. So you have to fill this in if you want. Google AdWords Custom Label Integration. It's an advanced option, so I will not expand on this part. If you want more information, please go on our FAQ website. In 2 words, with shopping campaigns, you can use custom labels when you want to subdivide the products in your campaign using values of your choosing. For example, you can use custom labels to indicate that products are seasonal or clearance, bestsellers, etc. These values can then be selected to use for monitoring, reporting, and bidding in your shopping campaign. So this is a pretty advanced feature. If you have no idea what it is, you may simply ignore this section. So it's the end of the module configuration. I'm going to talk about the 2 tabs My Feeds and Reporting, but before that, let's talk about the apparel feed options. So, if you are an apparel merchant, Google recommends to indicate as much information as you can. It's not an obligation, but it's strongly recommended for your SEO in Google Shopping. Include product material. If you don't want to include it, you select No. And if you want it, you select Yes. Then you click on Configure the tag. You get a table where you have to indicate which attribute matches with the material. So here, for example, it's composition. Composition. You do that for all categories and then you click on Modify. And then it's the same thing with all options. Note that sometimes you will have to save before clicking on the tag configuration. For example, for the product size type, if I select yes, I have to save before clicking on Configure the tab for each category. So for example, if I sell maternity clothing, I select here, for example, maternity. I can also select for another category, for example here, big and tall if I sell large clothing, and so on for each category. These tags are used in the multi-layered navigation of Google Shopping here. If you sell, for example, large clothing, they will be sorted here in grande taille, large clothing, because you have included the tag big and tall in the right category. So these tags allow you to have a better and more accurate optimization, and that's what Google like. So you configure also this tag, save, and then click here, and then you save. So it's the end of the configuration. That is to say, you have indicated all the information you want to export to Google. You only now have to import your feeds in your Google Merchant Center account. To do that, you have to go to My Feeds tab, where you have the list of your feeds. As you will surely modify your product data or add other products over time, you will have to update the information sent to Google, and so to update your feeds. To do that, you firstly will have to choose your update method. There are two methods. To know what is the difference between these two methods, I invite you to go to the FAQ about this. Here is the link. Then, to know how to import your feeds in your Google Merchant Center account, I invite you to see the video on the FAQ about the importation. Here is the link. Just one thing. If you want to test the quality of your feeds, you can do it. Click on the method Physical File Updated by Cron Task. Use this solution. And then, for each feed, you just have to click on Update. For example, for US, I click here and I get a table. You get a window with the diagnostic information. You have three categories of information. First, the errors. It's about products that will not be exported because of a missing required information. You must fix the problem before exporting your feed to Google. For example, here, the description is missing, but it is required, so I must complete this information. Then the warnings. It's about products that will be exported, but for which some information is missing. These observations are not blocking for the diffusion on Google Shopping, but it is recommended for your SEO to complete as much as possible all the information. Finally, you have here in the information part all the products you have decided not to export. so you can check again the list. So it's just an information because it's just a remember of your choice about the products you have decided not to export. So this tool allows you to have the highest possible quality of feed to send to Google. Note that you can display again the diagnostic of a feed that you have tested by clicking here on Reporting tab. Before you have to save here and then save here, and you'll find all the old diagnostics. And you can select a particular diagnostic. But please note that if you change a thing in the configuration of the feed, this diagnostic will not be valid. You will have first to return to the URL of the XML file of your feed, here, update it, see the information, close, then you save, and return to reporting, save, and then you will access to the new diagnostic. So remember that it's just a reporting of the old diagnostic, and if you change something, you have to first update the feed and so update the diagnostic. So it's the end of this video about the quick configuration of the Google Merchant Center module. If you want to learn more about each tab, I invite you to go on our FAQ website. Thanks to all and see you soon!